Steve Conlon called himself the Bee-Man of BB. We didn't quarrel over the title. I thought he earned it.
So this is fresh comb honey that's just come in from the field. And this honey is from thistle, the thistle plant, which is considered by many to be a noxious weed. But beekeepers love all kinds of different plants, and this is one that produces a nice, light, delicate honey.
The buzz around Thistledew Farm these days, though, is that the owner's good sense has betrayed him. How else might you explain this behavior? Why, it's enough to give most people hives.
You know, part of what makes the bee beard interesting is the fact that it is potentially dangerous. If it wasn't, they'd keep on walking.
And his wife, Ellie? Ellie is a willing participant in these bee beard demonstrations. It must be one of the compromises you make when you're the bee man's honey.
Very good.
If you think Steve was crazy, what do you think of Rick Griffith?
Rick Griffith has carved out a niche for himself as the Pumpkin Man. His house in Canova, West Virginia, shines with 2,624 jack-o'-lanterns this year.
It brings the entire community together, and it brings people outside our community to see that this is a great place to live, and West Virginia is a fun place to be.
What started with a few pumpkins for his daughters in 1978 has grown into this spectacle, which now takes about 100 volunteers to create and attracts perhaps 10,000 visitors to Canova.
I think this is the most unusual and the most surprisingly wonderful experience to come and see somebody's imagination come to life. It's just incredible. I'm so taken with it. What a wonderful thing.
We just carved one at the house, and it's I couldn't imagine the time it takes to do something like this. That's what he does it for the people to see is great. You know, all the time volunteers, to do it's wonderful.
The lantern part of the jack-o'-lanterns comes from Christmas bulb lights. The electricity needed to power this display has caused Griffith to have his house rewired. But it still requires lots of extension cords and lots of help, and who knows how many watts of power it takes to make this show a go. But it might be more accurate to say it's the children who provide the watts. As in, what is that?
Small children get excited and run from pumpkin to pumpkin, holding their parent or grandparent's hand and identifying simple objects like a fork or a spoon or whatever we carve, and it just makes all of us enjoy it so much.
Actually, that's the best part about it is watching the kids' faces when they look, because the adults look at the whole front yard as a whole and like how big everything is. The kids look at each individual pumpkin and it's like, it's the coolest thing they've ever seen.
Oh, looks like Madison.
No! Let's face facts. Coming up with 2,500 different designs of faces would be nearly impossible. So Griffith uses lots of shapes. Pumpkins of schools and pumpkins of tools. Pumpkins up high and pumpkins up high. Pumpkins of folks and pumpkins of jokes. All of these pumpkins, and not one of them is intended to be scary. That's because Griffith is a religious man who prefers to focus on the day after Halloween, All Saints' Day, the day when Christians recognize the long line of believers who came before.
Especially since in this last year I've lost my mother and my uncle, two of the people I loved most in life. It's a neat time because they inspired me to be this way more than anyone else in my life. It's a neat time to just be reminded of how much joy they gave me and how much fun it is to share that joy with others.
So Rick Griffith's yard is full of noise, his street is full of cars, and his friends are full of joy. He has fulfilled a lesson learned from his mother. Because his light glows for all to see, he has made the world a better place.
Giving back to the community was also a theme for the Nances. I watched as they led an effort to rebuild an historic barn.
The barn in which they are dancing has a history. Strange, because the barn in which they are dancing has just been built. The Nances are officers in the Mady Carroll House Preservation Society. They are overseeing the construction, or more accurately, the reconstruction of a barn in back of the Carroll House. The project started only a few months ago, but it's being built on the same site and in the same dimensions as a barn originally built more than a century and a half ago. The first phase of construction is actually a workshop led by Mac McRaven. McRaven is from Charlottesville, Virginia. He's recognized as one of the nation's foremost experts in historic reconstructions.
They didn't use this as a square when they were laying stuff out.
It's a very interesting, very intriguing pursuit, and the craftsmanship plus the history are an irresistible combination for me. It's always good to put something back the way it was 170 years ago in this case. That links us to history and lets us relate a little bit more to the people who were here before us who made us what we are today.
Oh, is that